Live from the harbor station is the Vector Spaceman Show! Now, here's your host, Vector Spaceman!
Hello, Space Cadets! How's everyone tonight? It's your old pal, Vector Spaceman. We're back at it again, man, and coming to you live once more, straight from Harbor Station, broadcasting on all frequencies to our beautiful planet Earth. Now, whether you're watching us live, catching us after the show, don't you know, we're glad to have you on board. Thanks for helping us keep outer space the place to be tonight, Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. Remember, Space Cadets, it's the 4th of November, and the Vector Spaceman is back. Hello, you wonderful, beautiful, talented, oh-so-cool people. It's the Vector Spaceman Show. Welcome back to the program. And if it's your first time tuning in tonight, then welcome aboard. It's your run-of-the-mill Tuesday stream where we catch up after the weekend, and everything's on the table. Let me know how your weekend was. How are you settling into November? It's a brand new month. Winter's almost here. Holidays are just around the corner. It's a season of needless tension and anxiety. And maybe that's just me, though. Now, if you missed the last show, we talked movies, conspiracies, card games, and so much more. A successful little chit-chat stream, always supreme. We also showed up briefly on Thursday for the launch of friend of the show, Ava's Project Zomboid server. I believe they'll be continuing to stream that for the next little while. It's a cool game. Several friends of the show are involved. Why not check it out? And of course, if you want to stay up to date with all of our broadcasts so that you never ever miss a show, then be sure to follow Vector Spaceman on YouTube, Blue Sky, and of course, right here on Twitch. So speaking of following on YouTube, apologies to anybody who is actually following the channel over there, because yesterday you probably would have got hit with something in the ballpark of like 50 some, give or take, notifications for new video uploads, because we finally got around to uploading like a whole year's worth of stream VODs that we just hadn't made public. They had been on the channel, just privated, waiting to be edited, waiting to have descriptions and thumbnails and all that assigned to them. Finally got around to doing all that. We used to do it like consistently, right after the show was done. Get all that stuff done, get it uploaded, get it ready to launch for the next day. For whatever reason, at the tail end of last year, right after the last Halloween special, we just lost that drive to keep pushing out new videos. Or not new videos, I should say, but the VODs. But determined to make it an archive for all of our old streams and all the good times that we've had here. We pushed through it, got it all done, all chopped up, edited where it needed to be. Take out this and that where, you know, some streams maybe we accidentally say something that we shouldn't have. Accidentally show something on the stream or on the screen that isn't supposed to be there. That sort of thing. Nothing untoward, of course. And come up with clever little descriptions and nice little thumbnails. Now it's all prim and proper and there for posterity, and that's what's important. Does anybody really watch those? No, not especially. In fact, I think if we went over to the YouTube page right now, if I was to take a look at the videos, I don't think... Oh, okay, I was wrong. Some of them have gotten a couple views. Okay. So I guess it's not all for naught. It's not all wasted now, is it? Truly, there is a purpose. Well done, Spaceman, well done. What's gotten the most views? What's gotten the most views? There's 2 likes on our Star Trucker video. Awesome. How did that even happen? There's like... how many? 10... handful of views. 13 views on the Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion stream. Awesome. See, they're reaching. Reaching eyes, reaching audiences. Not a waste of time after all. In the grand scheme of things, probably. Yes, almost certainly. But, you know what? It feels good at the very least to have everything organized and out there. And not just sitting on a backlog. Getting bigger. Getting bolder. No more procrastinating. That's the idea, you know? Gotta stay up to date on all of our streaming duties. Anywho, that was that. And if you didn't get hit with a big bunch of YouTube notifications, then lucky you. Glad to hear it. Check out those videos, why don't you? They're over on the YouTube page. It's right there in the chat. @Vector_Spaceman. Just like everything else. Now, when is the... Here's a good question. We should discuss this. When is the actual start of winter? 2025. It's a solstice event. Technically, it starts December 21st. So we're talking winter solstice. We're talking longest night of the year. But I tell you, we're already into change in seasons here. We are going to officially announce the start of 2025's FAT Squirrel season. Yes, we're calling it. Everybody knows that the first Tuesday of November marks the official beginning of FAT Squirrel season. We've conferred with the council, and indeed, we're calling it. Get out there and see some big, rotund, fluffy squirrels. We're talking big, huggable squirrels. Do your best not to mess with wildlife, though. You will be tempted. You will be tried. You will be tasked. But you must resist. You must resist this temptation, this urge, this impulse. That which vexes all mankind. Squirrels, get off the screen. Zoop. My favorite story about FAT Squirrel season is from back when I was in, I think it was like my first year of university. I was just sitting around. I think I was just sitting around on a bench eating lunch when this big FAT Squirrel season squirrel drops right out of a tree from above me, lands like, not elegantly, splat, right on the pavement, right in front of me. Had to be like disoriented, dazed. It like does that like quick shuffle around sort of thing, and then ran head first into a little concrete berm, just headbutted itself right into it, dazed itself, and then off into a bush. And you got to imagine, not entirely graceful, given the amount of weight that it had put on for FAT Squirrel season. I still think about that fat squirrel. Man. Other things to watch out for, of course, as the seasons change. It's Mariah Carey season, y'all. She's breaking containment yet again. Time to defrost for another year of terror. Maybe it's just because I haven't been, like, into the shops in a few days. But I haven't heard any Christmas music yet. But that's like the demarcation line. It's like, as soon as Halloween's done, you get discount chocolate, and you get holiday hits. It's all I want for Christmas, and the other one you gotta watch out is, it's Whamageddon. Everybody knows about Whamageddon. You got between now and December 25th to avoid hearing Last Christmas by Wham. Sorry, Wham! You gotta pronounce it with the exclamation mark. Wham! All good fun. In fact, we even did a skit about that one year. As it gets closer to Christmas, we'll probably play it again. Oh, but now we're gonna have to start thinking about Christmas gifts, man. See, that's where the real anxiety comes in. That's where the real tension comes in. The real nervousness. Trying to find something decent. That urge to one-up yourself in gift-givingsmanship every year. It becomes stressful. All Spaceman wants for Christmas is just a nice holiday dinner and just to chill out for a couple days, you know? What's better than that? Don't need no gifts. Don't need no things, no stuff. You know, very, very Seussian in our philosophy. Ghost, how you doing? Ghost, are you a big Christmas person? Talking about the meaning of the season, you know? How it can be stressful, anxiety-inducing, trying to find good gifts. I accidentally muted myself. How it can be a hassle trying to find good gifts for your family and your friends every year, always trying to one-up yourself. And then they'll turn it around on you. They'll be like, Spaceman, what do you want for Christmas? I'll be like, not a thing. Just give us a couple nice days off to relax, to take it easy. Nice home-cooked Christmas dinner. What's better than that, you know? What's better than that? Every year, the only thing that I ever ask for is like stuff that can be gone by the next year. You know? Stuff like snacks, stuff like product, stuff that I'm going to use throughout the year. And then by the time it rolls around next Christmas, I can ask for the same stuff again. It's a perfect system. It's so easy. For me, I just don't like how stressful the stores get around the holidays. See, I don't mind a crowd. I'm very pro-crowd. I love being surrounded by human energy, I guess. I love giving gifts, especially when I know exactly what someone wants. Well, that's easy, isn't it? When you know exactly what they want. Yeah, I think I've got one member of the Space Fam who I'm like 100% sure what I'm going to get them this year. But the rest, it's like, It's like, what do they even want? What do they even need? You know? These are established professional people. If they wanted something, they could buy it themselves. So you got to find, you know, that magical middle ground where it's something they'd appreciate, but something that they wouldn't think to get themselves, you know? What a hassle that is. But yeah, once you stumble upon something like that, giving gifts is great. You have to actually be able to, you know, read people's needs and desires. How you doing, Karen? Order up, just for you. We're draining some blue. You gotta try the green now? Okay, hold on, hold on. Let's go back behind the desk, shall we? Da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. It's hard to see the green. Let's take off the chat for a second. And we will drain some green for you, Kieran. Let's see. You did the redeem. I'm gonna, let's see. We're gonna go into the station overlay nest. The background decorations nest. And we are going to give Kieran a little froggy green. There we go. That looks like nice levels. Excellent. That one's just for you, Kieran. Oh yeah, you gotta mix them all. Make that swamp water. Get that mystery flavor. I don't know if that's a Canadian American expression or not. Anytime that that's what we used to call mixing like all the different flavors of like a soda fountain together. Called swamp water. I don't know where that came from, but that was communicated to a young spaceman. Kieran, how you doing? Are you having a nice start to your November? Christmas times is almost here. Ho-Ho's gonna come a-knockin'. Just talking about how Spaceman gets very anxious this time of year. Trying to find good gifts. Trying to figure out what people want. You know? It's like the great Dr. Seuss once said, you know? Maybe Christmas doesn't come from a store. Maybe that's just a cop-out. Or maybe there's some truth behind it, you know? You know? You know. I'll put it this way, I've had most of Palm's B-Day present for a while. Oh, Palm's getting a birthday present? Palm was born December 3rd, I think? Me remembering things. And I'm just waiting on one more item. But the biggest problem I have is not wanting to wait for a holiday or B-Day to give gifts. Oh yeah, well sure. Anytime can be gift time. That's what you tell yourself when you don't want to give out gifts on designated gift times. It's like, we should be able to give gifts any time of the year, man. Why do we need a special day for it? And then you neglect to give gifts on any other time of the year anyways. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just Spaceman. It is a November, that's true. We are just blasting through the months here. Listen, November's gonna be great. November's gonna be great for everybody. We're all gonna thrive and strive and excel in the month of November. I don't 100% know why, but like September, October, November, December should etymologically be the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th months of the calendar year. I don't know how they got shifted around or what the history is behind that, but it seems like a pretty obvious something funky was going on there. It gets down to 40 at night, but like 70 during the day. So it's hard to dress for it. That just means you get to have multiple outfits throughout the day. You know, you get to live lavishly, like some English gentleman. You know, you put on your fine dinner jacket. I wear one. Are you one of those buy 10 copies of the same shirt/hoodie or whatever and just let it ride for years? Most of the time it's stained for some reason and always in the exact spot. You gotta have consistent stainage, consistent coverage. You too, Ghost? Is that you as well? Man. See, there's something very... What's the word? Very... appealing about, you know, dressing like a cartoon character. In the sense of always being in the same outfit. Except for perhaps, you know, special events. Special occasions. Then you don't have to worry about, you know, what to put on in the morning, about coordinating this and that, you know. I think it's like the one... Like, that's always been a somewhat of a plus for, like school outfits, like private school outfits and what have you. Like uniforms and things like that. It's like, hey, listen, you one less thing to worry about, right? You don't gotta worry about style. You don't gotta worry about nothing like that. I could dress fancy, but that would mean people would be able to point me out in a police lineup, and we can't have that happen. Well, we can't have that happen. Not if you're going to continue to do crimes. No. Not if you're going to continue to do swamp crimes. Chong chong. I want to dress up in a semi-cosplay for next year's Off-Kai, and choosing pants on Amazon turned into a week-long ordeal. Sheesh. I've never ordered clothing off of Amazon. Like, I don't trust it. That's the thing. I want to know that it fits me before I take it out the store, you know? Because otherwise it's going to be, like you said, a week, perhaps longer ordeal. What if something doesn't fit proper because the size is slightly different? Then you got to send it back. And then you got to order another one. And then you got to make sure it fits. What the heck even is Off-Kai? I know less about Off-Kai than I even know about TwitchCon and stuff like that. Off-Kai. It's another streamer thing. Is it specifically VTuber? It is specifically VTuber convention. Summertime San Jose. Cool. But then you'd be surrounded by people who like VTubers. Ugh. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be Spaceman. OMG, I love that. Swamp Crimes. Yeah, Swamp Crimes. Da-dong. VTubers are gross. Couldn't catch me hanging out with VTubers. And they're the big ones, too. Which are like the lamest ones. You know? Give me some nobody VTuber to hang around with. That's what I'm about. Mostly corpo VTubers, didn't know 90% of the people on the merch. Exactly. You know, effectively, the only thing I like about VTubers is the ones that I hang around with. And by extension, the ones who would catch my interest as well, you know, not to be exclusionary or anything like that. But it's like, you know, having a big support for like a local hockey team or something like that. Like not the NHL, but like the OHL or something. Oh yeah, I have a small list of VTubers that I always try to catch. You should share your list. See, we should be promoting friends of the show. Don't you know? Ghost, what were you getting Palm for birthday gift? Can you tell us? Can you give us hints? I don't think Palm watches the show. You could probably just say it. Who are the VTubers that we watch here? That we consistently shout out? It's gotta be Palm, it's gotta be Mana, it's gotta be Corey, it's gotta be Meg and Dawn of the Game Grotto, it's gotta be Kohaku, it's gotta be Miki, it's gotta be Maven, it's gotta be Alpine Showtime, the Nova Swarm, gotta be Jammy when she actually gets around to streaming every now and then. Neff, if she would stream more than once every 2 years. You know, basically the cast of the specials. Kieran, when Kieran loves to stream, because we know Kieran loves to stream. I'll DM you. Nice, we love DMs. Slide up in our space DMs. Getting all the deets. But yeah, suffice it to say, Christmas gifts are a hassle. Oh yeah, I like most of the VTubers you said, besides one. Oh, we got beef? We got beef, Karen? Are we beefing with VTubers? Now I gotta remember who I all said. Karen probably doesn't like Alpine, that's gotta be it. Because Karen hates other frogs. That's gotta be it. That's gotta be it. They banned me because I was friends with someone on your list. What? That someone else. I'm not even gonna talk about that on air then, because I can only think maybe of who that might be, and I don't want to even approach that. Vector, you have to know. I don't know. That's the thing, and I'm not gonna suggest. I'm not gonna guess because I don't want to even think about that. All right. I don't like when members of the cast don't get along. I know that's, you know, nothing that I can't control or what have you, but I think it's so easy for us all to be on good terms. Or it should be. It should be so easy for VTubers to get along. And unfortunately, we've seen too many cases where that has happened. We've been pretty lucky that, you know, everybody seems to get along with the Spaceman, but everybody else's interpersonal stuff, it's, you know, not always so sunny. And that's a real shame. Because it's not like anybody here is a big deal. You know? We're all just cartoon weirdos on the internet. Surely it can't be that hard to get along, you know? Oh well, it's life. Now to change the subject, how was my day? My day was not bad. My day was not bad, Kieran, to latch on to a helpful segue. My day was not bad. It was not bad at all. What did we get up to today? Kind of a lazy day. I was reading a novella. The weekend was much more exciting, I must say. So to anybody who might have followed baseballs, the national pastime of the United States of America, they just concluded the World Series, and the World Series was being played between the LA Dodgers and the Toronto Blue Jays. Of course you like baseball? What do you mean? Of course I like baseball. What's that supposed to mean? Just because we, you know, spent a whole bunch of time in Japan where they love baseball? Just because our local team happened to be in the World Series of baseball? You think that might have something to do with it? Here's the thing, we're not a huge, like, sports fan in general. At any time of the year, for any kind of sport. But, when local team is involved, you know, when World Series is on the line, then of course you gotta at least get out there and pretend you know what's going on. You know, pretend you're a fan. I have a lot of friends who like it. I'm like, did the ball go? Yeah, okay, awesome. And listen, that's all you need to know. Stick, ball, hit, go, base run. Get goal, point, score. Batter up. Steve Reich. Home run, Kieran. All right, you need buzzwords. You need, you know, these little key nuggets of information in your head. You get to swing 3 times. You got to run 3 bases. Don't let the ball touch you. The ball is lava. But no, the sad thing is that our local team were defeated in the 7th and final tie-breaking game of the World Series. And over the weekend, I was in the city at one of these big watch parties. Gotta go make phone call? Okay, go make phone call. Because it was going to be impossible to actually go to one of these games, because I think the tickets for the arena were in like the tens of thousands of dollars. On the secondary market, on the scalper market, if you will. So no way that was happening, but luckily, there were more than a few watch parties and sports bars and what have you happening around the city. So we went to one of those, and it was a great time. It was a lovely time, even though they lost. Even though they lost in a very unexciting way. You know, I got there, and here's the thing. Spaceman's very lucky in that we have a member of the Space Fam who lives like right downtown Toronto in a building that's like super close to the Skydome, to the Rogers Center, if you will. So we were able to just park at their building, visitor parking, snagged like the last visitor parking spot. So lucky. Because I could see other rubes circling around the basement parking lot of this place, looking for a free spot. It's like, nope, yoink the last one, nailed it. Get my parking pass, I'm staying there for 2 days. Still find it odd that LA won. They're making all kinds of chaos in the city. That's what you gotta do. When your team wins, you gotta show out, show off, cause a ruckus, make some noise, tear this mother effer up, as Ice Cube once said. No, they had a fine team as well. You can't really get too mad about it, you know? Blue Jays did their best. And who knows, maybe next year they'll give it another run. It's not likely though. It's not likely that they'll go back-to-back World Series finals, but you want to hope, you want to dream, you know? And mind you, like I've said this before, it's not like we are a baseball producing country. Like there was one actual Canadian on the Toronto Blue Jays. And the rest are all like Americans, or they're from like, usually it's from like places like Dominican Republic or like, South American countries. They tend to get scouted quite a bit. Real baseball playing countries. But we had one Canadian on the team. So of course that became our guy. That became everybody's guy. And it wasn't just like some throwaway, you know, some nobody, some bench warmer, whatever. Guy's actually a good player. Guy makes highlights. Mr. Vladimir Guerrera Jr.? Legacy. His dad used to play for the only other Canadian baseball team, which doesn't exist anymore. So now he's single-handedly carrying the torch of Canadian baseball all the way to the finals. And we were at that watch party for Game 6. And the Dodgers stole the lead from us. And I thought, oh no, I've jinxed it by being here. I thought it was a shoo-in. I thought we were going to win Game 6, goes to Game 7. And the next day, of course, get off to a great start, great lead. Dodgers start clawing it back. Super fun to watch still, you know, even though it was a bit disappointing. If they had won, you know, if the Blue Jays had won, then we would have seen levels of hooliganism scarcely observed in Toronto, you know? I think the last time we've seen real Canadian hooliganism was when, I think it was a BC team won some hockey thing. And they got up to a whole bunch of riots. Let me Google that real quick. BC hockey riots. The Vancouver Stanley Cup riot of 2011. That was it. Game 7 of the finals of the NHL to win the Stanley Cup, the Vancouver Canucks. Oh no, it was the Boston Bruins beat the Vancouver Canucks, and so the Canucks burned down their own town. Awesome. That's good quality Canadian hooliganism right there. Burning cars, looting stores. What's not to love? From Canadians even. By golly. And then everybody gets out there and cleans up the next day. So that's quality Canadianism for you. But yeah, if the Blue Jays had won, we might still be in the city at this point. Who knows how long that party would have lasted. Oh well. There go our hoop dreams, our sports dreams. We'll get them next time. Maybe. Fingers crossed. We'll see. I think something I did read, though, was that game, Game 7 of the World Series, the baseball, was the most watched Canadian sporting event since the last time we had the Winter Olympics here. Everyone was invested. Because here's what you gotta understand. We have one Canadian baseball team in the MLB. So of course everybody was watching. Across the country. It's not like we even had regional, rivalry or anything like that to worry about. We got so many hockey teams across the country, but we only got one baseball team. So everybody was a Torontonian. When the Blue Jays were playing, absolutely. Everybody was invested. Like I said, I don't even know that much about baseball, but I'm out there being a poser, absolutely. I'm out there doing my part. Wearing the colors, wearing the hat. You know, this is how you get involved in gangs. You know, it's just peer pressure. Oh, another thing that I was working on. Check this out. Go to the maybe we go to the main screen so we can show it off a little better. Maybe we go like dabba 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 dabba. Swell, here we are. Okay, I want you to check this out. So I've been working, we're gonna take a look at a little behind the scenes work here now, okay? I wanted to show this off because this is something I've not seen incorporated into models yet, and I was trying to figure out why that was and how we could surmount that problem. So, actually, I think the best way to show this off is probably to go to the big screen. So let's do that. Let's go to the big screen. Wow, here we are. And let's see if this works. Are we showing the right display capture? Yes, we are. Okay, so this is Spaceman. And this is Spaceman from within Live 2D. Or sorry, within VTube Studio, I should say. He's in a black void, which gets keyed out when we actually put him into OBS scenes. Wonderful, lovely. So here's the thing, right now, Spaceman is being puppeteered by the angles of a webcam. We're looking at X rotations, Y rotations, and Z rotations as well. And that's all well and good. But you might have seen models, and there's times when people would be inclined to do this. Let's see, now you can see my mouse and stuff. That's why we went to this screen. Let's pull up our options here. So here you can see the face that control the rotation and what have you. But let's look at our model settings and parameters here. Sometimes you'd like to do something like this. Instead of controlling via face angles, there's a reason that you might want to control via mouse position. So now, when we move our face around, nothing's happening except on the Z rotation. That's still being tracked by our actual face. But right now, the head rotation is following our mouse position on the screen. You can see that happening right here. And there's good enough reason for why you might want to do that. Especially if you've got like a very simple model. But here's the problem. I want to show you something. We're going to go back into those settings. Let's try to create a new parameter here. Let's try to create a new parameter for our face angle, and we want that face angle to also control our angle Z, but our angles, our angle X and Y. But we can't because they're already being controlled by the mouse inputs. See, we can't do both at the same time. What I wanted to figure out how to do was do both at the same time so that we could control our head angles with the webcam and also with the mouse at the same time. Now there's another confounding factor to that as well, which is if you're paying attention to how the face is moving around right now, we're just following the position of the mouse. And so even if we could mix the inputs to have webcam and mouse tracking at the same time, we would have a problem. And that problem would be that we're kind of like locking ourselves into fixed angles because of this mouse. We would need to find a way to create a like mouse velocity that we could use as an input where, you know, it follows the mouse while it's moving, but then when it stops moving, we stop using that as an additive angle, you know? Because otherwise we would have to basically put the mouse center screen anytime we wanted to control the model strictly with the webcam, if that makes sense. And I believe that makes sense. Doesn't that make sense? Doesn't that make sense? Spaceman, yes, that makes sense. But unfortunately, neither VTube Studio nor Live 2D have a real elegant way of making that work. Which is why we had to get creative. Now, excuse me for a second as I put these back to normal. Okay, so now we are back to strictly angle. Why do I feel like something's gone wrong here? That doesn't feel as smooth as I'm used to. Hold on. Face angle X, face angle Y, that should be right. Seems right. Okay. Bob our head around. Why does the Y seem so... Oh, you know what it is? I think it's our in and outs have been messed with. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna have to fiddle with that at some point. Anywho, what we have managed to do, however, is create a version of the Spaceman model which does accomplish what we're trying to do here. So let's load up other Spaceman. Let's make him big. There we go. So right now, we're going to move our head around. You can see, and we are not moving the mouse. This is all strictly controlled by head motion, head movement, via the webcam. And you can see it is the webcam that is controlling this. Awesome. But now I'd like you to look at this. Wah. Wah. Wah, 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 wah. We are also controlling via mouse movements. And you'll also notice that when we move with the mouse, so we're not going to move our head right now, we're going to move with the mouse. You see how we turned back to center? So after the mouse movements, whenever the mouse movement stops, so whenever we don't have an input, we'll decay back to a zero out position, which leaves everything to be controlled by the head movement. And so what that means is that if we're doing like some sort of, because here was the problem that I was identifying. It's that when we're doing, say, a game and stream or something like that, and we're, you know, we're gaming, we're being real gamers or what have you, oftentimes my face will just be sort of like looking dead ahead at the screen. And I thought, well, how can we jazz that up a bit? How can we make that a little more lively? Well, we could use the fact that we're moving the mouse around on the screen to make it look like, you know, the head's engaging with stuff on the screen. Like if we're clicking stuff, dragging stuff, that sort of thing. So now even if my head is looking dead center, as long as we're doing stuff on the screen, then the head moves around a little and it makes us seem a little more animated. Isn't that cool? Isn't that neat? Isn't that swell? And the reason that we were able to accomplish all this is just by using physics within Live 2D. So you'll see, like you see my little zipper there? The zipper is what turned me on to this. Because when we jiggle around, the zipper goes back to normal after a time. The zipper trends back toward a neutral position. And that's because the way that Live 2D handles physics is by simulating pendulum movements. And so by taking advantage of that, we were able to create like a false parameter, which all it does is measure the movement of the mouse so that when the mouse stops moving, we trend back towards a a 0 angle or 0 input. Then we combine that through a physics group with our regular head movement stuff, and then we just assign weights to each one. So we got like, most of it is controlled by the head movement, but a little bit of it is controlled with the mouse movement. We combine those, add them together, and because the mouse position is no longer like a fixed position, it's now, you know, a, what's the word? Like a delta position, or a mouse velocity, if you will. We're never stuck looking in one direction unless the head is already looking in that direction to begin with. So we still got freedom of motion. So it's perfect. It worked out perfectly. I'm very glad with how it worked out, and we'll probably be using this version of the model going forward. In fact, we might even try it out right now. Let's go back to the main screen, shall we? We'll go back to the station. Here we are. And so we're still looking around and talking and what have you, but if the mouse is moving around on the screen and you can't even see it here, then, you know, we're getting a little extra bit of motion, and that's cool. That's rad. We get a big sure from Ghost. Yeah, that was a lot of technical gobbledygook for what really amounts to Spaceman's pleas that he was able to solve a conundrum in live 2D. And now the model looks just a little more active sometimes. Sometimes. It's very cool, and it's not something that I've seen anybody else do. So I posted a little write-up for some of my rigging friends, in case any of them were inclined to use the same method. But yeah, now we've got additive tracking inputs. We can do mouse and we can do face tracking all at the same time, without fighting for priority, which was the big issue before. Because basically you could set it to, okay, either the mouse is going to do all the work or the face tracking is going to do all the work. Or you could set it 50-50 for each, at which point, you know, the mouse position was going to be a problem because it was always a fixed, like 0 to 1 float value, basically. Instead of being, like we've set it up to be, a mouse velocity, which is what we're trying to measure. We do appreciate solving issues. We love solving issues. Here's the thing, it's like anything we can do to help improve the show as well. That's the other thing. So now everything's basically running on physics, but we still bounce, we still wiggle, everything still works for the most part. I think we lost some of the bounciness in the mic arm, so I might go back and edit some things, try and bump those numbers back up, but other than that, we're pretty pleased with it. Pretty pleased with it. Ha. Anyways, yeah, that's what Spaceman's been up to these past couple of days. You know, we always talk about ways we can be improving the show, and so every now and then we ought to take the initiative to actually implement some of those, you know? And that's what we've been doing. That's what we're gonna stay trying to do. Since we got, you know, free time, and obviously we're gonna have to distract ourselves from the fact that we gotta go Christmas shopping pretty soon. So, you know, anything to give us a little more procrastinating energy, absolutely. Just let those side projects keep piling up, you know? All right, we're just checking some social meteors here. I think it's probably going to be a short stream day, if I'm honest. It's just nice to get back and say hi and what have you. Oh my goodness gracious, hold on. What's going on here? What is with these freaks? How you doing, Shiro? How you doing, Mungo? How you doing, Nana? What are you three goofballs getting up to tonight? Anytime you guys get together, it's always something nutty. Always something goofy. Were you guys doing anything for, I was just talking about this, suddenly people, right? I know. The worst kind of people. VTubers. My God. Giggling in VC, I believe it. Me's in Bananas League and Mungo being Weird Cat. 100% I believe that. 100% I believe that. You guys, did you do anything for baseball times? Spaceman went into the city to one of these big watch parties over the weekend. I feel like I jinxed it though. Local sport team. They couldn't go all the way. Gosh. I told them we should send Zooey Mama at the same time. And hey, 2 out of 3, not bad, not bad. Saw one game that we won while at trivia, but unfortunately it missed us lose. You know what? That's not the worst thing in the world though. You know, you got to experience the highs, not the lows. Even though we didn't win it though, it was still an electric experience. It was still a quality time, I must say. You gotta get out there and pretend to be a sportsman. How was game at the stadium? I can only imagine outrageous. No, I should be clear. We were not at the stadium because even Vector Spaceman doesn't have like $10,000 to throw around for tickets. No, that's just outrageous. But I was walking by the stadium, and absolutely it was everyone was having a ball. No, I went to one of these like watch parties at the one I went to was like at the I don't know if you know Rendezvous. It's like an outdoor patio sort of place. Anyways, lots of fun. Good peeps, good times. They didn't win the game, but you know, they won our hearts. Oh my goodness gracious, Shamu, how you doing? Our latest and greatest space cadet. So nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the Vector Spaceman Show with me, your host, Vector Spaceman. I'm glad you won at trivia though, Shiro. This pleases us. This warms my heart. You guys enjoying your November so far? Hello, hello, Shamu. What brings you here? On a Tuesday evening in November. This cruel, cruel November. Hope things are going well. Hope you're living your best life. Hope you're living out your dreams. There it is, Zooey Mama. I knew it. I knew it. Part of this cult of Nana. Mungo's wife. Okay. Good to meet you. See, I recognize the name Shamu. But I could not 100% be like, oh, is this that Shamu? But now we know. Good to know ya, Vector Spaceman of the Vector Spaceman Show. You're part of the crew now. Part of the team. Part of the ship. It's that Shamu. It's that Shamu. Perhaps I can interest you in a refreshing glass of blue from our lovely dispenser here. I'm gonna have one myself, in fact, if we pop behind the desk, dabba 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 dabba, and we get to show off the fact that it lowers the level. I love doing that. I joined Nana's cult, but they'd just eat me. Isn't that worth it though? You know, cults aren't all fun and games. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice for the greater good. For the space rat, you know? Nana, what is the cult offering these days? What are your what's your sales pitch? How can we get Ghost on board? How can we get you into those, you know, into those white sneakers and stylish robes today. Ghost read the terms and conditions. Listen, that's how they get you. Don't need you flexing some legalese, trying to read the fine print here. No, you just gotta stay committed. Give yourself, mind and body, to the cause. That's how these things work, right? That's how these things work. VTuber Riggers in the chat. So I'm not actually 100% sure if Shiro rigs his own stuff, or if Nana and Mungo do any rigging now that I think about it. But I'm super pleased with what we've accomplished here tonight. We've just made a great triumph in VTubing technology. Nana turns people into Furbies. Love to see it. I'm just super stoked because I finally cracked this code that's been bugging me for a while now, which is that we can finally track our model with head movements and with mouse movements at the same time. I'm so pleased. We finally got this figured out. We can combine them additively, in fact. It's great. Now we get a little extra motion when we're doing stuff on screen, if we're looking around at stuff. Plus we get our regular head motion. It's perfect. Seamless even. And that's very exciting to me, and to me only. No, it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. It's going to be very helpful for the next wave of models, I think. If/when we ever get around to that. Oh, you know what? This whole time I forgot to mention that we are currently living in the era of Vector Spaceman's 4th year of streaming, you guys. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Way to go, Spaceman! Dabba 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 da. 4 whole years of streaming as of November 1st. That was the first day that we started streaming here. And we didn't have any big, event for it this year. But let it not go unmarked. Happy 4 years indeed. I'm bad at multitasking between games. I was making my cult type my messages. I do not rig though. Open Live 2D once and uninstall. Oh, it's once you like there's good tutorials for it, but maybe we need an even easier tutorial for it. Because here's the thing, once you get familiar with it, like I don't find it imposing at all. I don't think anybody else should either. It's the only big hassle, I think, is the fact that a lot of the documentation is in Japanese, but besides that, like it's such a great tool. Not just for rigging VTuber models, but also for rigging stuff for animation. It's just a great animation tool in general, assisted or otherwise. Makes me think when you're playing a game like No Man's Sky, you'll look where the ship is turning. Yes, exactly. So for example, yeah, and I kind of reversed it. So if I'm just, because here's the thing that I was worried about most. It's that when I'm playing a game or something like that, I'm usually looking dead ahead at the screen in front of me, right? And not really turning my head all that much because I'm paying attention to what's going on. And that's good for performance, but it's not so great for making the model feel alive. But now, say I'm looking dead ahead, I'm moving the mouse around, and now the head is moving with stuff going on. So it looks a little more animated, a little more lively, you know? And you know what I should probably do is I should probably also find a way to add probably X degree movement to the Z angle as well, so that when we're doing, it'll look like this. Like the head will be actually like bobbing side to side as well. That'll look a little better. So I'll probably do that as well. That'll be the next change. But you're right. Yes, it will look like we're sort of leaning with the ship as it's moving around, as we're looking at consoles, that sort of thing. And that was the intent. So the fact that we've managed to make it work so seamlessly and without messing anything up, we're pleased. We're super pleased. We're super stoked. Also, thank you for all the happy 4 years. If you can believe it, in these 4 years, we have done something like, let me check some stats here. We have done almost 300 live streams. The video count on the live stream playlist is right now sitting at 293, which might not be 100% accurate. In fact, it's not, because none of the karaoke streams are included in that playlist. So we've easily over 300 streams. So we're averaging, what is that then? Let's do some quick math. Do some quick mathematics. 300 divided by 4, 75 streams a year. On average, 75 over 52, of course. So we're averaging about 1.4 streams per week. So we're not just a 1 stream a week streamer. No, we're in the decimals here. Rookie numbers got to pump them up. I know, like, listen. We're never going to compare to that first month, right? That first month where it was stream every single day. That first November. Day in, day out, new stream every day, doing stuff. That was peak Spaceman. That's when we met basically everybody that we still hang around with professionally to this day, with the exception of folks like Nana and Mungo and Shiro, who we met at one of the cons a couple years in. Every time I'm in your stream, your setup reminds me of those old point and click games. Well, of course. And we got to keep it, interactive as well. That's why we got the laptop. It's why we got the slushy machine. That's why we got the airlock. Like, everything just works around here. It's perfect. It means we can set up a mystery of sorts. That is something that we were talking about doing earlier this year, was doing like a little point and click adventure game in lieu of a traditional Halloween special. Still something that I'd like to pursue. But it's been an odd season for us, So we're hoping that November's going to be better. Fingers crossed. Hope for the Spaceman. When you putting frog stickers on my helmet, wouldn't that just clutter things up though, Karen? Wouldn't that just make things, like we don't want to put branding or like sponsors all over the place, I would bring it all. It would really tie the whole outfit together. That's what we've been missing, is it? Is that what we've been missing this whole time? This whole time? Let me see here. Let's see if we can't. We can't appease our little froggy friend. We'll make sure it sticks, that it sticks proper. See, it wiggles around with the negative space there. Yeah, space. What if we put it on the side, maybe? On this little part? See, everything's sort of jumbly. Something tells me, though, that Karen doesn't mind all that much. So we'll just make it front and center, and it can sort of wiggle around with us. How is that? How does that float your boat, Karen? Hex yeah. Hex yeah. Have you got sponsored by 7-Eleven Slurpees? That's a hard one to say no to. If Arizona iced tea ever came along and wanted to do a sponsor, that'd be a hard one to say no to. I'm a big fan of dollar King cans. And you know what? I'm not even opposed to 7-Eleven, because 7-Eleven is a fine Japanese company. I love the 7-Eleven story. Buying out their independence from the American chain. Just like Canadian A&W did. Classic tales of self-emancipation through finance. Listen, if we got sponsored by 7-Eleven, we could finally fill in like the hot dog rack that's back here and stuff like that. You know, maybe update the cash register. We could get something that makes a cha-ching sound. Da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Is it a Japanese company? Yeah, so the Japanese loved 7-Eleven so much that the businesses over there did so well that they absorbed their previous American owners. Not just bought by a Japanese company, they got bought by Japanese 7-Eleven. So the American 7-Elevens are now all owned by the Japanese company. They did an Uno reverse on business. Time to start a campaign on X. This Spaceman, you know what? Let us, finish updating the station first before we strive for anything like that. 7-Eleven North America is bad. It is bad. I can't even think of the last time I went to a 7-Eleven in Canada. We need better 7-Elevens. We need 7-Elevens with quality, convenient meals ready to go, just like they have at the Japanese konbini. Japanese convenience stores on a whole other level. Everybody knows this. Everybody understands this. Everybody who's been there gets it. We need to bring some of that mindset back to the true north, We're talking walkable cities. We're talking high-speed rail. We're talking... You know what? Actually, the very first place I ever saw... those, yellow, bumpety... strips on sidewalks in front of crosswalks and stuff like that. We have them here now, but before we used to install them in Canada, in Canadian cities, I would see them over in Japan. I was like, what the heck are these ridges all over the ground? And somebody told me they're for people with vision disabilities, to be able to know where to stop and where to go and stuff like that. And I thought, that is such a good idea. Thankfully, that's something that's been adopted all over the place. A lot of forward-thinking stuff. I only encountered when I started going to Japan. Seen them in Asia, and they're so nice. They're so nice. So nice. Why can't we have nice stuff now, Nana? Why can't we have nice things? As Canadians, why can't we have nice things? Don't we deserve nice things? I think so. Don't you think so? I'm sure you think so. Now I'm all disorganized. What was I talking about? We went from baseball to Nana and friends came on in. Hope you guys have been doing well, though. I'm super stoked that I'll get to see some of you probably at the Christmas get-together. That'll be fun. That'll be fine. That'll be dandy. Honestly, I feel like we get more motivated like as we're seeing friends of the show, IRL friends, stuff like that. Spaceman can't be left by his lonesome. That's the problem. 'Cause then we just get into progressive funks. Melancholy. Malaise. The new movement of the model. Oh, yes, yes. Love the new movement of the model. That'll be a feature going into every future model. And if I can swing it, I'd love to get some arm movement in here as well. Ritz! Our latest and greatest space cadet. How are you doing, Ritz? See, I remember Ritz. Hope you're doing well. Hope your Tuesday's going well. Hope things are grand for you. Hope you're living out your dreams. Hope that you weren't too invested in baseball. Because we kind of got smoked. Oh, do you? Oh, do you now? Yeah, didn't we meet once or twice? I'm pretty sure. Nana's just sending in everybody from some nebulous voice chat, from what it sounds like. Thanks for tuning into the Vector Spaceman Show with me, your friendly host, the Vector Spaceman. Also, this frog will come in handy for Wednesdays. Why Wednesdays? Because it's Wednesday, my dude? Ah! Nana is a real one. That's the thing. Nana continues to prove himself to be a real one. We're just chit-chatting here tonight. I hope you're living out your Tuesday to the very best. Hope you're making the most of your November. It's our first November stream. We're just catching up, talking about this and that. How's your weekend been? Hope things are going well. You know? Classic streamisms. Nana's so real. In fact, Nana might be up there for the most Spaceman fan art over the years. Just in terms of sheer output, every now and then. Nana just loves... Actually, you know what? That just summoned up a memory of mine. I'll bet you I still got this saved here somewhere, too. I'm pretty sure that Nana was responsible for the first piece of IRL Spaceman art. Like, physically sketched out and handed to us. Yes, here it is, in fact. I'll pull this up so that everybody can see what a real one Nana is. Where it? Spaceman. PNGs. Art. Spaceman. Nana. Here it is. Here it is! Check this out. Oh, it's rotated. Hold on. Hold. Bam. There we go. That was from Anime North 2024. You were hiding behind Shiro. You were being so shy. You were sitting on the floor. I was chit-chatting with Palm and Alpine. you know, we were being extroverts. Nana was on the ground with their sketch pad, drawing little pictures of everybody there. And I did not know Nana at the time. You know, this was my first interaction with Nana. But this was I think this was Nana's way of saying, of like reaching out and trying to be friendly. And what a wonderful little sketch it was. I don't even think Nana knew who we are at the time. Nana probably had to look up what the model looked like just to sketch something out. But we were so appreciative, and I've still got that sketch with all my Anime North swag, all of the stuff from the years. Fantastic. Thanks so much for that, Nana. What a lovely memory that was. A small shy bean, that's right. It's on its way. What's on its way? I'm still trying to get some Nana art of you and Palm as stickers. I've got a... Shoot, where is it? It's in my drawers here. Not drawers like drawers, but drawers like desk drawers. I'm sure I've got stickers. Yeah, there they are. I still got my Spaceman sticker from last year. Had to stare at the badges. It was my first time meeting peeps in person. Well, hey, that's perfectly all right. You got the little reference there, right on the chest. Only knew the handles because I knew what the helped with the server and oh, that's right. That's right. But what a fortuitous meeting that turned out to be. I got to meet someone as cool as Nana. Nana got to meet someone as cool as me. I feel like everybody benefited. Everybody was the real winner there. You know, we haven't done an art stream in a fat minute. That might be fun to do as well. I'm thinking this weekend, possible karaoke stream, but at the same time, why not art stream as well? That's a good question, Spaceman. That's a good question. Why not do a little doodle stream? We haven't done one of those in a while. True. World became a little better that day. Yes, it did. It's a little weird to think about, actually. Like, that was only a year and what's May to June, July, August, September, October, November. So a year and a half ago. A year and a half ago was the first time I ever met, like, Alpine in person or met Palm in person. Yet I had been working with these people for like 3-4 years. And geographically, we are effectively neighbors. VTubing's weird, man. But yes, art streams are always fun. Why not do one of those? We'll do one of those. I'm thinking karaoke this weekend, and we'll try to slip an art stream in there as well. That'll be fun. That'll be grand. That'll be fancy. People keep giving, Mildra, how you doing? Thanks for the raid. Mildra, you guys, a friend of the show, who's into all sorts of TTRPG content and other fun stuff. Mildra is super cool. Mildra is a member of the fledgling Hive Core initiative, run by friend of the show, Dragon Durant. Welcome. I hope you are having a fine Tuesday. Hope you're living out your dreams. Hope you're doing your best. I was laughing because Alpine was rigging an ice cream with a face. Right. Whose was that? It was like a half-finished ice cream. And then the next time I saw Alpine was at Fan Expo, and they were rigging a tuba, a V-tuba, if you will. Sup, Mildra? Alpine can't be stopped. Alpine must be stopped, but unfortunately, they can't be stopped. And as such, we must all simply live in the world that Alpine has created for us. A world of wonder and imagination and horror. Can't forget the horror. It's turned into a more productive chit-chatting stream than I'd expected. Glad we had some folks show up. Oh, Nana and Shiro and Ritz and Moongo and Shamu and whomever else might still be kicking around. Let me ask you something. Where do you guys fall on reason for the season? We were talking Christmas stuff just a minute ago. Do you guys get very, like, anxious, nervous, overwhelmed when it comes to, like, gift giving and stuff like that? Always trying to find, like, the perfect gift for people? What's your take on that sort of thing? Or are you one of these people who just love giving gifts? You've always got great ideas. You always know exactly what people want. And if so, how dare you? And may I have some of that mental fortitude, please and thank you. Love gift given? I can tell every time I see Nana. We're getting some sort of little trinket. That's what I need to get then, is a sticker printing machine. So I can just give people little doodads. Just give Nana my arm to nibble on. Well, that's not just a gift, that's sustenance. There you go. You got that ghost energy. Yeah, we always find that around this time of year, we get a little on edge, you know? Thinking, okay, a couple months from now, about a month and a half from now, we're gonna have to have all sorts of Christmas gifts ready to go for all the members of the Vector Space fam. Whereas Spaceman only really wants, you know, a nice family dinner, something like that, a couple days off to relax. Not things, not stuff, not, you know, swag. But at the same time, you want to get something good for everybody else. It's the duality of gift giving. Me planning a birthday... Wait, what's this? Like a chew toy. Me planning a birthday get-together, so if Vector Fui Ghost invited too, but she's far away. Hexy, when is your birthday even, Nana? Or don't say on stream. That might be giving personal info away. But for sure, you know I'd love to come and see it. I was still super stoked getting to run into Nana just in the wild like a month ago. Why you gotta be so far away, Ghost? I feel like this is a you problem. See, everybody cool lives in southwestern Ontario. Not the West Coast, honestly. They say the West Coast is the best coast, but if that was true, why aren't the coolest people hanging out there? You know? Why is it just full of, you know, Hollywood weirdos, California types, hipsters, people from BC, Sasquatches, and what's more? 19. Oh, we're just giving it away. 19 is my birth. Probably played it for the weekend, like 23rd, 24th. Whichever friends are free. That's cool. Sure, let us know about it. I'd have to do my due diligence and getting on to something cool for birthday. Ghost diligently taking notes. Putting together that profile. So here's the thing, it's like a... I can get pretty bad about that in the sense of like, I don't forget a whole lot of things that people tell me. So that's why I always get a little cautious when it comes to like people's personal info. Especially fellow VTubers, stuff like that. Print out a picture of a duck, put it on the table. Yeah, there you go. A little effigy, you know? In spirit. Alright, you guys. I got bad news. We're like 3 minutes away from an ad. And I've run out of snoozes. So we are probably going to have to run one in a minute here. We'll run an ad. We'll use that time to find a good raid target, because we're going to want to go share the lurv with friends of the show as well. Obviously. Who's streaming yet? See who of our friends is streaming tonight. Wonder what ads you're gonna get, right? That's the fun part. There's nothing fun about ads, except for figuring out what Jeff Bezos thinks you deserve to see. What could it possibly be? What tailored and algorithmically curated advertisements are you gonna get beamed straight into your eyeballs? For the benefit of a bald weirdo. And his video website. Miss those weird unhinged ads? Okay, so here's what we do. Here's what you do. The ads run. You just go watch 3 minutes of PSP ads from like the mid 2000s. With like those scratchy black and white animated ones with like the squirrels and the dust motes and what have you. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. Jet 2 holiday. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. I watched My Fair Lady for the first time last night. Decent musical. Didn't love the ending. But I kind of wonder if I could do the British accent long enough to affect like a Henry Higgins role. He's got some good numbers in that production. Maybe we'll hear one of those when we get to karaoke night. Let's head behind the desk here. Because we is about to run ads. So let me put up the be right back. You guys, don't go nowhere. The Vector Spaceman show continues right after this. Should watch Legally Blonde's musical. Did they do a film version of it? Legally Blonde musical. Or do I have to track down like a filmed version of the stage show? You want 3 hot dogs? We're out of hot dogs, but we'll see what we can get by the time that you come back from ad breaks. Don't go nowhere. The Vector Spaceman show continues right after this. Okay, running ads. All right, we have 3 minutes to find, here we go. Hot dog PNG. Okay, let's see if we can make this work, shall we? We're gonna go into the station decoration nest. Station, where is it? Where is it here? Station desk. Stage. Midground. Station display. Okay, it's the display, which is just an image. Okay, it's just a PNG itself. That is less hard to fix then. Okay, let's dabba ever so slightly over to the side here. Let's make hot dog. Let's browse for hot dog. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Hot dog. Scale appropriately. Layer appropriately. And let's start duplicating. Why did it turn so small? Why did it get small? My hot dog. Copy. We only got 10 seconds left. How many hot dog? Can we fill in? Well, it looks like we're back from ads, but I'm not done filling in hot dog yet. We need more dog. We need more hot dog. There we go. What's that? 7. 7 hot dog. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to make sure that these are all on the right layer. Hot dog. Whole lot of hot dog. And now, right, they're behind us. Perfect. There you go, Nana. Now you can have 3 hot dog. And if we go back to the station scene, it should, if we move around here. Yes, hot dog is still in the background. Awesome. We still have hot dog. But we do not have nacho. We'll have to work on that. We have to get like one of those like big, dumb, gooey, like it looks like yellow paint, like dispensers. You know, that molten nacho cheese? You know what I mean, right? That industrial nacho. Barrels, how you doing? Hi, Vector and chat. Hello, Barrels and Barrels. Happy Tuesday. It's the Vector Spaceman Show. We're just back from ads. We've got hot dog now. Check it out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hot dog. We've got slushy and we've got hot dog. Count them. Educational programming here on the Vector Spaceman Show. Tonight, we're teaching you how to count. Jabba dabba 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 dabba. Now we just need to invent some sort of redeem so that people can order up hot dog and maybe even order up what they want on their hot dog. Because here's the thing, we could, and this would be more complex, I believe, than something like Mix It Up could do for us, but we could probably make it work if we did another, like, integrated, probably Godot-driven chat reader or something like that, where if you were to do a redeem for hot dog and then put in stuff like mustard, onion, relish, ketchup, that sort of thing, we could read it for keywords and then show a little hot dog on screen, the exact hot dog that you ordered. Would that be worth the effort? I think so. I think so, and so for that reason, I'm going to put it in my Google Drive file labeled Serious Streaming Plan. Hot dog redeem with condiment keywords. This Google Doc, which is getting longer and longer and more complex. All the things that we'd like to do with the show. Will we ever get around to it? Oh, we love roll call, y'all. How you doing, Ghost? You are perceived. I see you there. A daily hot dog redeem. Yeah, you get one per day. It's not like the slushy where we can just refill it. No, everybody gets one hot dog per day. Every space cadet gets paid in, marginal amounts of cadet credits and one hot dog per day. Use it wisely. It's starting to sound like more and more of an abusive working environment the more that we extrapolate this. That's like $1.50? Well, no, that's like a Costco hot dog, you know? These are Harbor Station hot dogs. The implication thereby being that these are valued more than a Costco hot dog. Which may or may not be true. In fact, they may just be Costco hot dogs, which we are then upselling, upcharging for hungry space truckers. It's something we hadn't considered until this very moment, but it's something that I'm not going to say isn't true. I think the most ambitious entry in the Serious Streaming Plan Google Doc is customizable Space Cadet models. Because, you've seen streams where there's like, little sprites walking around the bottom of the screen, or like, little PNGs representing chat members or what have you. But to be able to give viewers a way to customize their little avatar on screen, maybe even see them interacting in the background, doing stuff. That's a dream. That's a dream. Because what have we always said, you know? The only reason that we continue to use Twitch as a platform is the interactivity. So we should always be striving to be more interactive. That's what separates it from, you know, the YouTube, where you've got less redeems. It's harder to raid. All these inhibitions, you know? The delivery to get them here as well. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, the fees are out of this world. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. See what we did there? I think you see what we did there. And YouTube doesn't have hot dogs. Let's be real. I didn't want to have to say it. I didn't want to have to be so blunt about it. But when you really get down to it, YouTube doesn't even have hot dogs. Or blue slushies. The greatest flavor, perhaps. Astro Orange, great. Lunar Lime, exceptional. Blue, out of this world. Out of this world. Reject any suspicion that it might just be crushed up cobalt or something like that. Yeah, you gotta get your blue in. Get your daily blue in. Oh, look at that. We're 5 servings away from our 100th cup of blue. Which means we'll probably see that redeemed next time we stream. I know, right? 100, big numbers. To be fair, I think a lot of those numbers were me testing it out to begin with, but since we never reset the counter, we might as well roll with it, you know? We might as well roll with it. Okay, you guys. We've been going for just about 2 hours now. Milestones. Yes, milestones, fellow cadets. Milestones. We're out here making milestones, making records. Breaking new ground. We've chit-chatted our way into a stupor tonight, but I want to thank everybody who has been here. It's been a lovely Tuesday, a lovely Tuesday, getting back into the swing of things. Here's the plan. Here's the promise. Here's the idea. This weekend, we're thinking karaoke stream. We're also thinking art stream. It'll be a busy weekend for us here on the program. And then, of course, we'll be back to usual shenanigans next week as well. And you know what? I'm not even going to say that we're not going to throw in a little Wednesday or Thursday stream if something should cross our mind, cross our fancy. We'll see. That's more up in the air, though. But definitely this weekend. I'm looking forward to that. Sounds fun, right? Sounds fun. We're going to raid into friend of the show, Pomato Master, tonight. Pom has just been diagnosed with ADD. Good for her. Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder. Way to go, Pom. Right, everybody? Big cheers for friend of the show, Pom. Now we can steal some unprescribed dextroamphetamines. Woo. Yeah, cheers for Pom. As a surprise to no one, yeah. I hope it helps, you know? I hope whatever comes of it helps. That's the thing. It's something that you can never undo. That's always going to be on your medical record at this point. A diagnosis. That's why I've always been personally very hesitant to go for anything like that. Now she can get more official help with it. And yeah, you hope that whatever resources she gets does help. Yeah. Helps improve life. It's not something you should be embarrassed about. It's not something that there should be a stigma around or what have you. So that's why when we raid into Palm, we want to say something like, what's the raid message going to be? It's going to be, what's it going to be? Congrats on your weird brains or something like that. No, that sounds mean. It's going to be, we're going to say, what should we say? What's a way to stay positive and supportive, but at the same time, very silly? We're gonna say Space Raid. Get that diagnosis, son. We got not Costco hot dogs. Fresh from space, we got that not Costco hot dog. Here's the raised message. Space Raid, get that diagnosis, son. With the little palm dab. I'm pretty sure that's a diagnosis. You get that diagnosis, sis. Pretty sure that palm emote is free for any follower of the channel, so that should work out. All right. That took a lot longer than it did. Let me get that raid set up. We are going to be out of here in a moment. You can already tell I'm sleepy. It's a follower emote. Yeah, there we go. See? It works perfect. Works perfect. Set up raid. Ho, me, Toe Master. Looks like Palm's also playing some Outer Worlds tonight, so that'll be fun. Something to watch as you drift away into the evening. Yous guys, as always, I just want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in tonight, wherever and whenever you are. Join us again this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to be doing some more streams, some karaoke streams, some art streams, some fun times. Same time, same place, right here, 8 p.m. at Harbor Station. We'll catch you on the other side, Space Cadets. Until then, of course, no matter what life throws your way, good luck and Godspeed. This is Vector Spaceman, signing off. Stick around for that raid, you guys. We're about to send you out for some more great content for your evening. Tell Palm Spaceman sent you. Have a good time. Have a good evening. Do your best. Be on your best behavior. Stay well. Stay hydrated. Stay fluidated. Stay happy. Stay living your best life. And we will see you guys all again real soon. Bye-bye.